Welcome to Auction version 4, the event management software tool from Auction Systems. This video is an introduction to item data entry. To get to item data entry, on the main home task ribbon, click Data Entry and then click Items. This is the item data entry screen in panel view. On the left side of the data entry screen, you will see the list of existing items that are already in your project. The left column is the item type and item number. The next is the item short description, and then the status as to whether the item is for sale or pending or in a basket. And finally, if the item is a component of a basket, the right column tells what basket container component is in. If the basket itself has been assigned an item number and an item type like silent or live, this column will show the item type and item number of the final assembled basket. If the basket is pending, i.e. it's not been given an item number and you haven't yet decided if it will be a silent or a live or other type of item, this column will show the short description of the container. On the top of this list is a group of filter buttons to filter the list below to certain item types or characteristics. The default list is all items. The next icon is for sale items, which would not include pending items and items that are marked as not for sale. The next button is for silent items, so the list would only show silent items. Then we have the icon for live items. We have a bid board items icon. Next we have retail items. Then not for sale items. The basket components and the container baskets themselves are in this basket icon. And finally, pending items. If you're looking for a specific item in the search field, you can type in a keyword or phrase in the short description of that item, and the list below will filter to just items that have that word or phrase. But if you're not sure whether the item you're looking for is silent, live, or whatever, make sure before you search you've clicked the All Items icon. Now let's take a closer look at the ribbon along the top of the item data entry screen. The first three buttons are the navigation buttons that tell you how you got to this screen. Starting in Home, you picked Data Entry and then you picked Items. Then we have the action buttons. The first one is the Add button. This is a choice button that when you click it you will see three choices. Item is the first choice and is the most common selection. Choose Item to enter a new item that is donated by a single donor. If a single donor donated an already assembled basket, you would still choose Item when entering it in auction because, like I said, Item is for entering a new item donated by one donor. The next choice is the Add button for adding a basket. Basket is not used for entering the components that will go into a basket. It is for entering the actual container that the component will go in. The container will not have a donor or a value by itself. The donors and the value of the container will automatically be calculated for you when you add the pending components to the container. The last choice is duplicate item. If you select an item in the list of items by clicking on it and then go to the Add button and choose duplicate item, a new item will be created with the same description, donor, donor value, etc. Any of these fields can be changed for the duplicate item if necessary. If the original item has an item type and item number, the duplicate item will need to be assigned its own new item number. The next button is Save, which saves an item, and the next button is Save and Add, which not only saves the current item, it opens a new item entry form for creating a new item. If either of these buttons is not enabled, click the Hint button to find out why. If you select an item in the list, its data entry panels will show up to the right of the list. Pressing Next will open the form for the next item in the list, and pressing Previous will open the form for the previous item in the list. If you open an item form and then make a change to the item entry form but decide the change is not what you really want to do, if you have not saved the changes, press Cancel and the form will revert back to where it was before the change was made. Delete deletes the selected item in the list and removes it entirely from your project. Other actions come next, and the first other action is View. View allows you to preview and print certain documents associated with the selected items such as item details, bid sheets, gift certificates, item labels, display placards, etc. If you have a custom one saved for any of these documents, you'll be able to choose the custom document. Join allows you to join two items together. Let me be clear, join is not how you basket two items donated by different donors. You use join when somehow the same item got entered more than once, and there is something you like about the data entry form for each of the items that is unique to that item. Click on the item that has the most correct information and then click Join. The list of near duplicate items will show up. If the item descriptions are not similar enough, you will have to use the filter buttons to find the other item. Select it and then choose what fields of the second item you want to use in the new joined item. Then click Join and Close, and there will now be only one item in the list, and its form will have the information you kept from the original item and the information you wanted from the second item. Maintenance is next on the ribbon, and its choice is Global Changes. Global Changes allow you to change or clear some information for all affected items that have that information. For example, if the full item description was entered incorrectly for most of the items, in Global Changes you can clear the full item description for some or all items and then start over. The next four buttons are for screen mode. The default view when you go to data entry is panel view, but clicking the panel view button gives you the option of going to grid view. This is the grid view, and each item will have a row, and each column is the information entered in the field in the panels for that item. You cannot type into a cell in the grid, but if you would like to change something, click on the row and the form for that item will pop up in front. Edit the item in the pertinent panel and then save and close the form. You will be back to the grid. The grid view is a slow way of doing data entry, but it's a good way to check data that's already entered. Any of the columns can be sorted by clicking on the column heading. Details is the next button. This button can change which panels are shown in the form, and you have three choices. Standard is the default, and that choice gives you the most commonly needed panels, which are Description, Donor, Value, Lots, Bids, and Shares, and Item Type and Number. Express Details for items is actually the same as Standard for items. Express Details is only different from Standard in name entry. The last choice is Complete Details, which shows every panel possible in the item data entry form. Of course, no matter what choice you pick, you can always hide a panel you don't want to see or unhide ones you do. We have a button to select how you want to move between fields in a panel. The default is to use your mouse to click on a field. The other choice is to tab between fields. This is strictly a personal preference choice. And last, we have Panels Open and Panels Closed. Panels Open will open every panel in the form that you are currently looking at. Panels Close closes all the panels. If I get confused about which panel has the information I need to edit or add to, I click Panels Closed and then read the summary on the outside of the closed panels to choose the one I need. Please see the next videos in this series for a discussion of each panel in the item entry form. Thank you for joining us.